Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be picking right back up where we left off on the Griffon collection, but this time we'll be covering the Desert Highlands map. Just like with the last guide, we're going to start off with the hearts, then cover the open world content, and finish with the Griffon eggs. And just like in the last video, you're going to need another 50 gold to buy each of the 25 gold items from some heart vendors for this collection. For the first of these two waypoints, you'll need to head to Lamund Crawl waypoint. Just south of the waypoint, you should find Grothmach, and for 25 gold, after completing this heart, you can buy the enormous supply of bird feed. For the second heart, if you head to Macaulay Outpost waypoint, you should see Tendaji, the heart vendor, just north of the waypoint. And again here, you'll be able to purchase the survival supplies. Moving on to the only open world content for this map, you'll need Zeklum, the Rune of Loyalty. But unlike the Crystal Oasis, we won't have to do a bounty this time. Rather, there'll be an event that takes place in the same city you just bought those survival supplies. When the event starts, you'll be escorting 2nd Spear Narim west of Diviner's Reach to a small cove. It's at this cove that the real event that we're looking for here will spawn, as a bunch of Awakened are going to come from just about every opening in this small little cove to try and kill you and 2nd Spear Narim. If this NPC should die for any reason, then you'll fail the event, but upon completion as part of the event rewards, you will get the rune you're looking for. While the escort event is pretty easy to complete, I would highly recommend having a few players with you for the defense event, and honestly where most of the struggle came for me was just getting this event to spawn. There's another event where Diviner's Reach will be under attack, and successfully completing that event is how I got mine to spawn. So from here, all we need are 5 Griffon eggs that we'll have to track down, and unfortunately, unlike the Crystal Oasis, we will need to track most of these down individually rather than using a Griffon to sort of cheese it. Anyway, for the first Griffon egg, we're going to need to head to Brightwater Waypoint. Just a little north of the waypoint, you should see a cliff that you can use the Springer Mount to jump up on, and for a while, you're just going to be using the Springer Mount to jump up each level. All of the cliffs sort of make a staircase for you to jump up, so it's not too hard to tell where you're going. Once you make it to the top and you can start heading forward again, head north, around the side of the mountain, and immediately take a right onto the path. Take the path north until it dead ends at another group of little shelves that you can use the Springer Mount to jump up onto. Once you make it up to the top here, you should see the Griffon nest not too far off. Like before, just interact with the nest to grab the Griffon egg and mount yourself up on a Griffon. The next egg, you will actually be able to use the Griffon to get to, so be sure that you are mounted up on your Griffon and head southeast towards the ring of pillars that you should be able to see from the Griffon roost. As you approach, it should be pretty easy to tell which one of these pillars has the Griffon nest on it, and just try your absolute best to land right on one of the pillars, as they are pretty small. If you should fall off, it's entirely possible to use the Springer Mount to get back up again. So while this time around we can't use Griffon mounts to get from spot to spot nearly as effectively as we did in the Crystal Oasis, head back to that first roost spot, and this time, rather than getting on a mount or anything like that, just head northeast until you see a spot that's slightly higher up than you are. Use the Springer Mount to jump up on this slightly elevated plane, and you should find another Griffon egg. For the next Griffon egg, we'll be headed to the High Jump Ranch waypoint, or the spot where you got your Springer Mount. From the waypoint, just follow the path north for a very short while and immediately start heading southeast. Eventually, things should get a lot more rocky and mountainous, as well as snow-covered. Just keep heading in that same direction, gaining altitude on your Springer whenever you can, until you come up on this structure. From here, it's just a matter of using the Springer Mount to get up on top of that structure. There are some rocks off on the side that make this pretty easy, and just on top you should see a Griffon nest. Also, if you haven't got the mastery in the tree right next to you, it's probably a good time to give that a go. For the last Griffon egg and the end of the Desert Highlands Griffon collection, head over to Derelict Delve waypoint in the snowy region and immediately start heading east. Follow this path until you make it to the beginning of the bridge and start heading south. You can use the Springer to jump up over the mountain, and from here it's really just a matter of heading south in any way, shape, or form. You don't have to take the path that I took here. When I did this, I was thinking maybe I would need to be higher up, but it turns out that's not the case. So just head south until it dead ends at a cliff, and I would recommend switching to your glider so you can kind of hover down. And if you're looking at your mini-map, you should see this next griffin egg just to the left of the vista as you're hovering down. Just be careful and patient on your descent, and you should wrap this up no problem. And that, guys, is all there is for the Desert Highlands Griffon collection. I know there wasn't nearly as much flying around on the Griffon as there was in the first video, but that's not the case for most maps. Next on the agenda, we'll be looking at the Ellen Riverlands Griffon mount completion, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, I hope this helps someone out there trying to get this done. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.